Hey everybody, welcome to our April team call. Tonight we're going to be talking about a bunch of the really confusing stuff as a new coach. So that would be how to grow your team, how to find people to be on your team, what the heck cycle bonuses mean, and right leg and left leg and weak leg and strong leg, all of that confusing stuff that everyone always has questions on. So we're going to break it down today. And before we get started, I wanted to announce everyone who got some Success Club points on the board for March. So we had myself at 10, Kenzie at 8, Taylor at 6, Asia at 6, Samantha at 3, and Jessie at 2. So awesome job to all of you guys. We have 43 coaches on our team, which is up from last month, which is super exciting. And I shared this in our team page, but our team has moved from 260 rank to 242. And for anybody who's new that's watching this video, that's out of almost 400,000 coaches. So we're ranked 242 out of a lot of coaches. So that's really cool. I also wanted to welcome some of our new coaches to the call. We have Sharice, who's not here with us today, and we also have Rachel, who is here with us today. So welcome you guys to the team. I have quite a few new coaches on my team as well that I haven't introduced to the group yet, but we'll introduce them on the next video. All right, so I have a PowerPoint ready for you guys today to go over all of this content, and I'm going to go through it. And then I was telling Rachel before we started recording that I had an unexpected doctor visit today, needed to go get some labs drawn and stuff. So my original plan was to make this a resource for you guys to pass on to your new coaches and new clients. But I think I'm going to end up re-recording everything after we do this video and then use that as the resource. So anyways, just a slight disclaimer, this PowerPoint wasn't as complete as I wanted it, but we will go through it anyways. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen and we will get started. All right, so we're gonna be talking about how to grow our team today. How to find your tribe, get them trained successfully, working the business, and how to rank, advance, and increase your income, which is all important things. So the first thing I want to talk about this, and I know that we talk about this a lot, and I'm not trying to well, I kind of am trying to nail it in, but you have to work on yourself first. So before we go into growing our team and advancing in rank and all this other bells and whistles type of stuff, you have to make sure that you are working on yourself first and consistently. You are your own CEO, and we talk about that a lot. So I know that I'm not your manager, I'm not your boss, I can't tell you what to do, but I really believe that if you're not working on yourself first, you can't grow a team successfully and you can't advance in rank. And if you do, it's going to be really unstable. So you have to make sure that you're doing kind of the bare minimum before you move on and try to have all of these other goals. So what do I mean when I say you have to put yourself first? I mean, you have to be doing your personal development every single day, not sporadically, because this is what's going to get you through the ups and the downs of growing your team and advancing in rank. There's going to be goals that you miss and frustrations, as well as really exciting stuff too. But you have to be able to deal with the ups and downs, and personal development for 10 minutes a day is one of those foundational things you have to be doing. Secondly, you got to make sure that every single day you're able to do your workout and your shakes, because that's what's going to make you feel good and help show people that this is a lifestyle and that it's doable. For example, if you would rather grow your team and you feel like you're too busy to do your workout and your Shakeology, then kind of what's the point, right? Because the whole core of our business is helping people to get healthy and live a better life. And we do that by introducing them to our workouts and our Shakeology and feeling better about themselves. So you have to be able to do that for you. And then you also have to be every single day doing the daily income producing activities. So this would be stuff like inviting every single day, and let's see, what else did I write? Forming every single day, tracking your stuff every day, and making sure that this is something that you're not doing sporadically, but every single day. And you can do all of this in about an hour a day, but if you're not doing this first, then I would say that building a team is not for you yet, and that's totally fine. You just got to nail down the basics, and then you can use all this content to grow your team. So with that being said, we'll get started. And also, if you're looking for a tracker, I know, Rachel, you said you were looking for a tracker. I'll show you this real quick. This is one of the things I think you have to be doing before you start building a team, because you have to be seeing what's working and what's not working to see growth. So this is a link to a tracker, and I'll just show you what it looks like really quick. Move this out of the way. Okay, so this is the business activity tracker that Beachbody gives us. There's tons of trackers available. You can make your own if it doesn't work for you. They just redid this. It's super simple. You just check it off, write what week it is. There's a spot on the bottom for you to write all of your goals, and you can even write the names of the people you're talking to on the back of this paper for the week. So that way you can see if you have a really good week, what were you doing? If you have a week that's not so great, what were you doing, so that you can tweak things to better help your business move forward. Okay, so everyone hears the saying that your vibe attracts your tribe. So you have to be, first and foremost, talking about the business in order to attract people that are going to want to work it. So there is a document called 22 Days of Coaching that's shared in our team page, and it gives you a bunch of ideas for what you can talk about to attract people to the coach life. So you could talk about where you were before and where you were now. You can talk about how coaching has paid for some sort of bills or helped you to go on a vacation. But basically, you need to be talking about how coaching has affected your life in a positive way to help attract people into wanting to build a business with you. And it's kind of the same as you need to talk about doing your workouts and your shakes and everything to attract people to want to do the challenge groups with you. It's the same sort of concept. So as you want to start building your team and building your income, you just have to be able to talk about this stuff. So how do we find the people to be in our tribe? There's a few different ways. So if you have people that are just rocking their challenge group, Rachel, you're an awesome example of this. They're doing amazing in their challenge group and they love Shakeology. You could ask them to be a coach, because chances are they might want the discount, and that's totally fine if they want to start like that. But if they're loving the products, they're naturally going to want to tell other people why it's worked so well for them and why they're feeling so great. So they are awesome people to invite to be a coach. You can also get new clients to be a coach. And I feel like this is one that's not talked about as much because it's kind of a controversial issue in Beachbody. So I like to do it like this. If I have a person that is a client and they share with me that they have a weight loss goal of maybe 60 pounds or really anything above like 20 pounds, they're not going to lose 20 pounds doing the 21-day fix one time, right? They're going to have to do a couple different rounds, maybe a couple different programs. And so at this point, I would feel comfortable in our conversation where we're going back and forth and figuring out what challenge group is good for them to say, hey, since this weight loss goal is going to take more than a month, we can totally get there, but I think it's going to take about this long. What would you think about signing up for a discount account so that when you continue your journey months down the road, you'll get your Shakeology for cheaper every single month? And a lot of people are totally on board with this. So that's a way that you can get coaches right off the bat, and we call them discount coaches that are just in it for the discounts. I do, if I have someone sign up like this, give them a little bit of a disclaimer about the Success Starters thing, which we're going to talk about a little bit further on. But it's a way that you can get new clients enrolled as a coach. And some people like to offer it to every single person that they sign up. Like when you get to the point where you're telling them the cost and they have picked whether they want a regular package or the all access pass, and you tell them the price, you can also tell them, would you like to sign up for a regular account or a discount account? And they're going to say, oh, what's a discount account? And then you could explain to them, well, you get 25% off of all product going forward. And you would get your Shakeology for this amount versus this amount in the upcoming months. And so that's another way that you can sign people up as coaches right off the bat. Okay, people who love Shakeology, of course, everyone loves a good discount, so that's another way to find your coaches. If they're going to continue drinking Shakeology for the next month, then sign them up to be a discount coach, or tell them about the opportunity, and if they don't want to be a coach, then still sign them up for the discount. So social media posts, so just like you post for challenge groups, you can post saying that you're looking for people who want to build a business working from home. If you need some examples of that, ask your upline. And then personal invites. If you see somebody who you think would make a really good coach, maybe they're into health and fitness, maybe they're really positive, maybe they are just a really inspiring person, then invite them personally, just like you would with a challenge group, to be a part of the business. So after you've found your potential clients, you have to get them information. So how would you get them information? So coach sneak peeks are probably the #1 way that we get them information. And with our team, we've started running coach sneak peeks. We did our first one as a team, and they're typically once a month or 2 times a month. So that's a physical event that you can invite people to, whether you're posting publicly or privately inviting, or asking your challengers, which really you should be doing a mix of all of those, and then inviting them to the coach sneak peek. If they ask for more information, of course, you can send them voice clips. You can send them a message through Facebook. Some coaches like to make a YouTube video, a recording of themselves, giving information about the coaching opportunity so that they don't have to keep repeating themselves. I think that's a little bit less personal, but you're welcome to do that if you want. You can also do a phone call or a coffee date if you are really into being in person with them. All right, so after you have found your people, you have given them a little bit more information, and they're interested, the next step would be signing them up. And the Coach mobile app is the easiest way to sign them up. So I'm going to actually show you that really quick on my husband's account. So if you're on your Coach Online Office main page, oh, this is totally not my husband's account, it's my page, but whatever. Okay, so go to Sales and Marketing, then the Business Tools tab, then the mobile enrollment, and once that loads, so this is how I sign up all of my challengers pretty much. Normally I would say, yes, I have permission, enter their email address, and I would say enroll new customer. But if you're enrolling a coach, you would do the same thing, but say enroll new coach. So if you have someone that's already signed up as a client, you can do this still and enter their email and say enroll new coach. And then it's going to have you enter in their information, and it'll get to a page where it says, do you want to purchase product, or do you want to just sign up with no purchase? So if they have already purchased a challenge pack, you would probably just say sign up without purchase, and it'll be $39.95. But if they're enrolling off the bat with a challenge pack, then you would just sign them up as normal, but say enroll new coach. So that's how you do that. I like using the Coach mobile office because you can see the status of if they've opened the email, if they've started it, and if they've finished it. So that's how you sign them up. And then I want to go back to our Coach Online Office and show you. If you go to Sales and Marketing Business Tools, Forms and Documents, after you sign them up, you will want to make sure that they get a discount on the coach fee if they have already purchased a challenge pack. So I think everyone on this call has had their upline coach do this for them. So you scroll down and you find the challenge pack free coach enrollment online request form. So after your coach has signed up, if they have already done a challenge pack, like if they're a challenger that is now going to be a coach, you will enter in all of their information for them, and then they will get a refund on the $39.95 plus tax. If your person is signing up as a coach right off the bat with a challenge pack, this will not apply because they will get it waived, which is actually an incentive to them signing up as a coach right off the bat. This is refunded in 2 business days after the form is submitted. So I always tell people that are signing up as a coach, there's a $39.95 fee, but since you've bought a challenge pack before, it will be refunded to you. I'll submit the paperwork. Let me know as soon as you sign up, and I will put all the information in, and you'll get your refund in 2 business days. So that's that. If your coach is in the military or is a spouse of a military person, they actually get their monthly fee. In Washington State, that's $17.95. In other states, it's $15-something. They will get that waived. And so this one we cannot fill out for them, but there's a link in here for the Team Beachbody military waiver, and you can send that to any challenger that is in the military or is a spouse of a military or retired military person. They also get their $39.95 fee waived no matter what. So that's kind of cool. All right, so let's make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Okay, So after they're signed up, how do we get them started? Right now, we are using an email system to get people started. At the end of this call, I'm going to talk about how that might be changing a little bit within our team, but for right now, I'm going to talk about it just how we're doing it right now. So first, like I said, no matter what type of coach is signing up, even if it's someone that's just signing up for the discount, tell them about the Success Starters incentive, because you don't want them to miss out on this and then be really bummed out later if they don't know. And so for anyone who doesn't know what Success Starter is, it is if you get Success Club 5 in the first 3 months of your business, you get a free ticket to Summit, which is our big coach gathering that we do every single year. It's in New Orleans this year, and it's super fun. And so this is a huge, it's like a $300 gift for them if they are a Success Club starter. So I always tell them about this, no matter what type of coach they are. I send them a welcome email. The document that I include in the welcome email is in the forms in our team page. And I just say like, hey, I'm so excited you've signed up as a coach. Here's your first steps, and let me know when you are ready to jump into your training. And then after that, we start sending the email training back and forth. So right now it's a 7-day training. Like I said, it is going to change, but we just send them a couple lessons at a time and then kind of just gauge it by how fast they're going through the trainings, how much more you want to send them at a time. Welcome them to the team. So post a cute little image, either with their picture or whatever you want to do to welcome them within the team. There's a couple different options for this. So you can welcome them if you have your own team page, which I would start thinking about probably after your diamond. You can definitely add them to your own team page. Then you can start thinking about whether or not you want to add them to your upline team pages. So for right now, where everyone's at in our team, I would suggest that you add them to our Genuinely Fit group, but you can choose whether or not to add them to Delta Fire right away. Some people get really overwhelmed as a new coach because there's a lot of info, there's a lot of different trainings, there's a lot of different groups. So personally, I've only been adding them to Genuinely Fit, welcoming them into the team. And then once they kind of get their bearings after a little bit, I will offer if they want to be added into a bigger group, because I've gotten a ton of feedback that there's just too much right off the bat and it's really overwhelming. So anyways, welcome them to the team. After they have completed their training, you'll want to do a Getting Started Right call, which is also called a GSR call. So this is where you're going to talk about goals and talk about next steps, and you're going to give them a posting plan. Okay. So in the Getting Started Right call, you can either choose to do this in person, like at a coffee shop. You can do it on the phone. You can do it on a Zoom call. Set aside about an hour of your time to do the Zoom call and really just get to know them. Have them talk about their goals, why they want to do this, and really hone in on what they've been liking about the challenge groups and what they've been liking about the programs in Shakeology. And then after you've let them talk for the majority of the meeting, because this is just totally for them, let them know a little bit about your goals for them and why you have these goals for them. So I would say that our goals for them are hitting Success Club 5, because really, guys, Success Club 5 is our only measurement that we're given to let us know that we're doing the activities in our business that are moving our business forward. So if you have a coach that's not just in it for a hobby or for a discount and they actually want to build their business, then hitting Success Club 5 is important. So that's one of our goals for them. Another thing that we would tell them maybe is getting to Emerald, because there's a lot of benefits that come with being an Emerald coach. So you might want to briefly explain that. But really our number one focus for them is just them having a good time and getting their business started off right and then hitting Success Club 5. So after you go through that, you need to show them how they're going to announce that they're a coach by doing a coming out post and make a posting plan with them. And the posting plan is going to lead up to them saying that they're a coach and inviting to their first challenge group. So you'll also want to discuss whether or not you guys are going to co-run a group together, or whether they're just going to invite to a group that you're running as kind of an apprentice. I've done both different ways. You can choose whatever works well for your business. If I am co-running it with them, I usually have them co-run a group with me once or twice, and then they can team up with someone else on the team and kind of go off on their own. So what does a posting plan look like? What am I talking about when I say I give them a posting plan? So at the Getting Started Right meeting, I talked about how we talk about their goals, what's important to them, what they've been liking about the challenge groups and everything. And then based on what they say, I come up with a posting plan. So this is just a sample. Let's say that these are some things that the person that I was having my Getting Started Right call said that they really felt our programs have helped them with. So I would say, set up this 8-day posting plan, and on Saturday I'd have them talk about how they've been feeling really healthy and confident on their social media with a nice picture of themselves. Sunday they would talk about how meal prepping has helped them because they're always on the goal with a picture of their containers and their food or something like that. On Monday I would have them talk about how the challenge groups they've been doing, why they really like them, and kind of what they're all about. On Tuesday, maybe talk about a physical change they told me that they've been seeing that they're really excited about. On Wednesday, maybe they'll talk about how Shakeology has given them more energy. And then finally, on Thursday, they will do their coming out post and say, oh my gosh, I'm a coach. This is why I've decided to become a coach, and I'm really excited, all that stuff. And we will show them what makes a good coming out post. For those of you who don't know, we have them do a picture of themselves, whether it's their face, whether it's a before and after picture, whether it's of you working out, and then kind of tell a story of where you were before, why you decided to do the challenge group, and then why you've decided to be a coach in your coming out post. I don't have them use that coming out post to invite to their first challenge group because it's kind of a lot of information for people to take in. Everyone's going to be really excited for you and blown away by what you say in your story. And so to add on an invite at the very bottom of all of that amazing information and story is a little bit overwhelming. So what I have people do is I'll have them do their coming out post, and then the next day after, you will thank everybody and say, thank you so much for all of your support on my health and fitness journey. I actually have a challenge group coming up, and I can take 3 people into my group, and it starts this date. So let's just say Friday would be the day that they do that invite. And then on Sunday, they could post a follow-up and say, I have so many more spots, and last chance for you to join the group. So this is kind of what a posting plan looks like, and it really gives new coaches guidance to what to do when they start off, because social media is usually something that people are really worried about, and so it really helps them to just have a plan and to get started right. And this follows the jab, 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 right hook method, which we've talked about in one of our team calls before. And so it's showing people the value of what you're asking them to do. So for, let's see, how many days is this? Like 5 days before you actually come out as a coach, you're showing why all of these programs and Shakeology and the challenge groups have helped change you as a person, before you ever invite people to do the challenge group themselves. So that when you do invite to the challenge group, they're like, wow, look at all of these things that have changed in your life and all of these things that have helped you. I want to do that too. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so troubleshooting along the way. You're going to have to kind of just do this as a learning process when you're new. It's not going to be perfect. You're going to learn a lot. But for troubleshooting things, I would say to make it easier on yourself, make documents and videos for recurring questions or things that you find yourself doing over and over and over, because odds are if one person has a question about it, more people will. And if you make a YouTube video answering the question, or if you make a script or a document for your coaches, it's going to save you a lot of time in repeating yourself in the long run. Definitely ask your upline for help. If you are sponsoring your first couple of coaches, like I said, it's going to be a learning process, and we don't expect you to be perfect. I'm still learning all the time. So ask your upline for help or advice, and don't feel like you have to do it on your own, and that's totally fine. Fall back on the Coach Online Office. So in a second, I'm going to show you a bunch of amazing resources that are available on the Coach Online Office that I think a lot of us don't know about that can help us in this process, so you don't have to come up with your own content. And then also empower your people. So if you're getting a lot of questions from your coaches, kind of show them how they can go look at the FAQs on Beachbody site, or look up YouTube videos, or like use Google. There's tons of resources that they can use. So empower them to find the answer, or to post in the team page with their questions, so that you're not having to field all of these questions. Because as you grow your team, you still want to spend 80% of your time working on yourself and your own business, and then 20% of your time on your team. And it's really hard for some people to remember that, because as you're growing a team, a lot of people want to go into management mode and then spend most of their time helping their team out. But really, you got to focus on your own business first. Okay, so I want to show you guys real quick some stuff on the Coach Online Office that's super helpful. So if you go to your Coach Online Office and go to the News and Training tab, and then go to Training, first of all of our coaches, in addition to doing our 7-day quick start training, we should also tell them to do the getting started and the coach training, and then all of these as they advance, because it kind of just gives the bare minimums. And a lot of the forms, like the business activity tracker, Rachel, that you were talking about, are in these trainings right here. At the very bottom, there's the training library, and this is where like all of the amazing info is in. So here is the business activity tracker that I showed you guys. There's a bunch of other trackers on here. There's information on how to run challenge groups. There are so many guides in I think it's in like, I don't know where it is, product toolkits, or challenge group tools. So there's a ton of guides on how to run challenge groups, so that you don't have to come up with your own posts. If you're busy, you can just use these guides and then have all of your content and set it up to post in your challenge groups. There's a Coach Basics program. So if you don't like the training we have and you want to use the one in the Coach Online Office to train your new coaches, there's a leader guide, participant starter guide. It kind of works on a month-long plan. There's information on our compensation plan and what team cycles look like. So if this video doesn't explain it for you, you can come in here and look. There's an Emerald to Diamond push group training. There's information on how to find and attract customers. This first 30 tab is a bunch of training on what to do with coaches in their first 30 days. So if you don't want to use our team training, you can use this. There's just so much information, getting started for new coaches, how to follow up with people, how to invite, how to set goals, the lead programs, what they are, national wake-up calls, how to onboard new coaches, personal development. There's so much information in here. So definitely take a look and use these resources in addition to what our team has, especially if you're short on time, because we don't want you to have to recreate the wheel, and we just want to keep it really simple. Okay, so back to our new coaches that we've onboarded. You've given them all the information, you've trained them, and how do you know now if they're doing a good job and if you have started them off right? Well, there's a tracker to make sure they're hitting their milestones. It's available on this training spot that I just showed you. It looks like this. So you put their name, and then you can say like, you can just mark them off to make sure that they're hitting all of these milestones, basically. So it's just a tracking tool. You want to see that they're duplicating all of the things that you've told them to do to be successful. You want to see that they're hitting Success Club 5 if they've decided that they want to be a business builder and not just a hobby coach or somebody who's in it for the discount. You want to see that their social media looks like they're showing up every day. They're sharing that they're doing their workouts, they're doing their Shakeology. They're sharing just what makes them them and not just a Beachbody billboard. Pay attention to the questions they're asking you and make sure that they're appropriate questions and there's not something that maybe they should have learned that they're missing, because that might mean that you need to tweak your training a little bit. And you can also, of course, ask your upline to evaluate if the tools that you're using are good, or if you think that your new coaches are off to a good start. Okay, so now that we've talked about how to find coaches, how to get them, how to onboard them, we're going to talk a little bit about different ranks and what that looks like, what it means, and how to start increasing your income because of this. So the first step would be to go Emerald and Business Builder. And I say use the leadership ladder for guidance and tools, because if you guys don't know, we have different ranks in our company. So we have Emerald, and then Ruby, and then Diamond, and then 1-star Diamond, all the way up to 15-star Diamond, and then Superstar Diamond. This is great, but rank doesn't really measure like income and how you're doing in the company like the leadership ladder does. The leadership ladder, once you start getting team builder, team leader, that's when your income is starting to increase, and it's a better measure of how you're doing rather than like being a diamond coach, because you could be a really low paid diamond coach or you could be an insanely high paid diamond coach. So the leadership ladder has more importance than rank. Okay, so that being said, these are the different ranks in the company. So you start out as a coach, and anybody who signs up as a coach will automatically be a coach. It doesn't matter how many people you have under your leg. So this would be called a left leg, and this would be called a right leg, and then you're at the top. An active coach is somebody who gets 50 PV. So what PV means is every single product that we have in the company has something called point volume or PV attached to it. For example, getting Shakeology every month is 90 PV. So to be active, you have to order at least 50 PV in a 6-week period to be active. An Emerald coach is someone who has an active, personally sponsored coach on their left and right leg. So what I mean by personally sponsored is someone who you have signed up yourself. I'll show you what this looks like real quick. So this is an example of my husband's account right here. He's at the top. You can see that he has a bunch of coaches under his left leg because this is on the left side. However, none of these are actually his personally sponsored coaches because right now he is not building his business. These are coaches that other coaches above him or under me have placed here. And so if they were his coaches, they would have a PS over their head. And so Andrew's just a regular coach. I know this is confusing, guys. I'm trying to break it down. So to be an active Emerald coach, you have to have someone you personally sponsored as your coach under your left and right leg who are active. And that's kind of the first step. After that, we have Ruby. You have an Emerald coach on your left leg and right leg, as well as 2 regular active coaches. And then after that is Diamond. You have an Emerald on your left leg and your right leg, and a total of 4 coaches on your left leg and right leg who are personally sponsored and active. So how someone becomes not active is maybe they cancel their Shakeology or delay it, and that's usually the biggest cause. And so you have to make sure that you yourself are active and the coaches underneath you are active to go forward and rank. Okay, I'm trying to look at my notes to make sure I'm not forgetting stuff that I want to tell you. Okay, so let's zone in on Emerald rank. So again, this is you and a personally sponsored coach on your left and right leg. So for me, I went Emerald by having my husband on my left leg and my friend Caitlin on my right leg. And so they were both active, and that made me become an Emerald coach. And so once that happens, there's a bunch of benefits that you get. So you start something called a cycle. And a cycle is when you have 200 points on your left or right leg and 100 points on your opposite leg, and then you will do something called a cycle. And it's a little bit confusing. I totally get it. Once that happens, you will get $14 for every cycle. And cycles are what's going to get you a lot of income in the long run. Commission kind of stays the same. It's not like you're going to be making commission of $200 a month this month and then a year down the road making like $2,000 of commission. That'll relatively stay the same. But what's going to increase your monthly income is all of these cycle bonuses. So again, that's $14 for Emerald, $16 for Ruby, and $18 for Diamond. As an Emerald coach, you also get to participate in the LEAD program. So if you hit Success Club 5, you will get leads. You will see them show up on your account, and if they purchase anything else after the first month that they're added to you, then you will get commission on that. And you're also able to contact them and ask them how they're doing, ask them if you want to add them to your challenge group. and all of that. If you get Success Club 10, you get a different type of lead where you get the commission from them right away. So if they bought an All Access Challenge Pack and you hit Success Club 10 and they were your lead, you would get the $70 commission on them, which is kind of awesome. And leads are coming from people that bought off the infomercial, people that bought off online. And so that's a really cool bonus of being an Emerald coach. And there's also a tracker for them. It looks like this. You can plug them in here and track them and make sure that you sent them an email to welcome them to your team and all of that stuff. So this is the part of my PowerPoint where I had to go to the doctor and didn't get to finish. So we'll kind of muddle through. So this is what the leadership ladder looks like. The first benchmark is business starter. You have to hit $100 in commission, Success Club 5, and be a coach rank, and then you'll be a business starter. Team builder is the next spot on the leadership ladder. Oops. So you need $250 of commission, Success Club 5, to be an Emerald or higher coach, 2 personally sponsored with Success Club points, and 200 TV, which means team volume, on your weak leg. And then you'll be a team builder. So this is where I'm at right now, and this is what I was talking about is a better income measurement rather than the rank. You can find where you're at on the leadership ladder by being on your Coach Online Office and hitting the leadership ladder tab right here. And now I'm going to go back to the Coach Online Office so I can try to explain cycles a little bit better to you guys. Okay, let's go to the home page real quick. Okay, so down here in this tab, you can see all of the volume. So you'll have a left leg volume and a right leg volume right here. And clicked on the volume details. And so one cycle is when you have one of your legs that's 200 and the other leg is 100. So you can see here that my legs are pretty equal. This is the left leg and this is the right leg. And when these numbers cycle, then I get the cycle bonuses for them. So a better way to see this is here. So it tells you like on the week of the 17th to the 19th, I cycled once. And then here from the 14th to the 19th, I cycled twice because these volumes over here had one that was twice as much as the other. And so then it subtracts from your bank and then you cycle. So once you become an Emerald coach, you can start to cycle and you will cycle off of your own personally sponsored coaches or the coaches that other people are adding underneath you, which is really cool. If you don't have enough volume to cycle, that's fine because we're really lucky that Beachbody will let us save all of that volume to cycle off of. But if you lose your rank, you will lose everything in your bank. So that is why it's really important once you get to a rank to start padding. So that means like once you get to Emerald, start putting a bunch of other coaches underneath you so that you won't lose that rank. And once you get to Diamond, don't just stop at the 4 and 4, keep padding underneath you to keep your rank up. So let's see where we are at in here. Do you guys want to unmute yourselves and ask questions so far? Or I can unmute you. Do you guys have any questions so far?
I have one. I'm curious if an active coach can just be one of the discount coaches.
Yes.
Okay.
So an active coach just has to be getting 50 PV every single month. And so Shakeology on AutoShip is 90 PV. And so that coach, even though they were just in it for the discount, would count as an active coach. So when you're trying to go Emerald and getting your first 2 coaches underneath you, a lot of the times people will just sign up someone who's in it for the discount and then also either a family member or a relative or a husband or a boyfriend or something. And the reason why is because it's nice to have an account that you can control on one of your legs. So if we go to my downline here, I will show you that. So the reason why I put Andrew, my husband, on the top left leg is because now he is going to have benefit of volume from any coach that I'm putting underneath him. So if I click on him now, I can see that, oh, maybe I can't see it, but he has quite a bit of coaches underneath him. I think he has 19 coaches underneath him that we have added, either I've added or other people on our team have added. So if I wanted to, after I build my business how I want it, I can make Andrew go Emerald. And so then he will be cycling and on all of these people that have been added, as well as myself. And so we're getting income now from Andrew and from me. So it can be really, really valuable to add either your husband or boyfriend or family member. And another example is my mom is on my right leg. She's pretty far down here. You can't even see where she's at. So if I would have put my mom at the very top, she would have had a lot more volume and therefore cycling to get those extra dollars every month than if I would have waited and added her way at the bottom. So you can use controlled accounts like your husband or relative or family member to increase your income and kind of be strategic about it that way.
Okay.
We also have what we call strong legs versus weak legs. I don't know if you guys have heard those terms. So how you determine which is your strong leg and which is your weak leg, it's really what people, so for my husband, he has no one on his right leg. So his left leg is his strong leg. It's a leg where anyone in his organization, like other coaches, are adding people underneath him on that leg. So it's called a strong leg. For me, I don't have anyone above me that's adding coaches underneath me. So I don't have really a strong leg or weak leg unless I build it myself. And right now my legs are pretty equal. But from week to week, my strong leg is just the leg that has more volume under it. So let's, for example, Samantha's on my left leg. So that means that her left leg is her strong leg because that's the leg that I will be adding more coaches to and all of my coaches will be adding more coaches to, if that makes sense. Jessie, on the other hand, is on my right leg, and her right leg is her strong leg because that's where I'm adding more coaches, other people are adding more coaches. She's getting volume from people that are not her personally sponsored coaches. Does that kind of make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So Rachel, I'm not sure where exactly you're at, but one of your legs is strong versus weak. I can try to find you if you don't know.
I think my left leg is the strongest.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you see people that are not your coaches that are added underneath you on that leg?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yes, then that would be your strong leg. What is a weak leg? I'm just reading the messages. Do you guys have other questions at this point right now? Okay, so I will show you now, if you go to your Coach Online office, the leads that I was talking about. So you'll see here that you have new customers. Like this says you have 6 new customers, and I click on this. And this is where your leads are going to pop up every week when you get them from being Emerald. So here's an example of the one I was talking about. It says the source is customer program. So this is the type of lead I got from being at least Success Club 5. So I have all of their contact information. I can email them and welcome them and say that I'm their coach and offer them to be in the challenge group, but I didn't get any commission off of what they ordered. I will get commission off of any future orders, but this is basically just a lead that I can contact. On the other hand, Cindy is a Success Club program lead, and so I got commission off of her right away, and I can contact her and offer her to be in the challenge group as well, but it's someone that I got commission off of right away. So those are the 2 different types of leads and where you will find them. Let's see. To kind of give you guys an idea of why cycling matters, my very first month as a coach, I didn't cycle at all. I didn't actually cycle for a while. But if we look at where I was in January, I cycled 6 times. So I got $108 because I was a diamond coach and I get $18 a cycle. In February, I cycled 11 times, and so I got $198 from cycling. And then in March, I cycled 13 times, so I got $234 from cycling. So it's like steadily going up. And this is where you're going to see your income start increasing more and more. And then as you start growing your team, you are going to also get what's called a matching bonus. And so you will get 10% of what your personally sponsored coaches cycle on too. So let's say Samantha cycled one time, I would get $1.40, which doesn't sound like a lot, but once this starts compounding and people are building their teams and getting further along in the business, it actually does end up being quite a bit of money. As far as timelines to how long you can expect to go Emerald and go Diamond, it really depends on you and your goals. But there are people who go Emerald in as little as a week up to about a month. If you really set your mind on it and you're like, this is what I want to do, I want to have the cycle bonuses, I want to have the leads, I'm serious about my business, you could really do it in less than a month, because you can just sign up like a family member or someone who wants a discount, and then you're good. If you want to go Diamond, sometimes it takes people a month. Sometimes they are really serious about it and they can just do it in a month. Sometimes it takes several months. For me, it took 10 because I didn't know what I was doing at first and didn't have a lot of guidance. And then once I put my mind to it, it only took me about a month or two. So it really just depends. But Diamond is like pretty much where, like, a bigger goal to have for yourself. It's when you're recognized as the leader. It's when you start making a pretty substantial income, depending on where you're at with the leadership ladder. And it's a really cool place to be. It's when you start growing your own team and all of that good stuff. So I think that is the biggest stuff I had for you guys. I hope that everyone knows. Do you know how to like determine where the next coach will go in your placement?
I remember seeing that on the video, but I'd have to look at it again.
I will show you real quick. So if you're on your Coach Online Office, and then you go to your downline and then the graphical genealogy, and we'll just say to go to the bottom right for right now. See how this guy is outlined in red?
I don't think you're sharing your screen.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
1 second. Okay, so I'm on my Coach Online Office and I went to my downline, and then see how this guy's outlined in red?
Mm-hmm.
So that is where my next coach would go. And if I go to the top and then go to the bottom left, my left side is not outlined. But if I wanted to switch it, let's say I want to switch it so my next one goes to my right, I would say okay, or goes to my left, and now my placement is on my left side.
Okay.
See how it changed?
Mm-hmm.
And when you start out, this can go so much more in depth. It's like pretty crazy, but don't put anyone on the insides of your legs.
Okay.
So going back to this PowerPoint, see how my husband's here, and he has this option where he could change his placement to be right here. We don't want to do that. We only want to put people on the far outside left or the far outside right to start with.
Okay.
Just to help with like income and getting, like, if you were to put a coach here, they would not have any benefit from like other coaches putting people underneath them. They wouldn't have a strong leg. They would kind of be in the situation where I'm at, where they aren't getting help from anyone else. So yeah, that's about all I have. There's tons of information on YouTube. I know this is super confusing, and like I said, I wasn't able to quite finish my PowerPoint, so I know the end was like especially confusing. But you can always YouTube stuff. You can just kind of make mistakes and go through it. If you put a coach in the wrong spot and you need to change it, there's a form and you can ask your upline for help. I think you have 4 days to change the mistake. But basically it's just a learning process, and this is kind of how you grow your team and grow your income. And I know that you're super new, so I don't know if this is like a goal of yours right now, but I mean, getting to Emerald is a really cool goal as a new coach. Diamond would probably be like a stretch goal for right now, but Emerald would definitely be working on all of that good stuff. So, like I said, I was thinking about doing the training a little bit differently now that our team is growing. I'm trying to stop my screen share real quick. My computer's freaking out. Can you see anything right now?
Oh, I can see you.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
So we are thinking about doing more of like a group thing where we get everybody, all the new coaches into a group and do a group training rather than emails. My goal was to talk to our whole team about it, but our team wasn't able to jump on the call today. So I think we're going to save that conversation for more when we can all get together. But that is my hope, that we can kind of have a consistent thing where like the first Monday of the month, we're going to start a new coach training for all of the new coaches that we've onboarded. And the last Wednesday of the month, we're going to do a coach sneak peek run by all of the people in our team. So that's kind of the vision for that. And there's a bunch of different groups called push groups that you can join if you're like pushing to be an emerald or pushing to be a diamond or pushing to get at a certain spot on the leadership ladder, which we'll also talk about more when we have our whole team together. But I think that's like the biggest things. And then, like I said too, I will re-record this once I have time to finish the PowerPoint, since I wasn't able to today, and then we can use it as a resource for other people. And maybe it'll be a little bit less confusing, but do you have
I don't think it was too confusing. I think
that's
you did
good.
a good job.
Do you have any other questions I can answer for you?
I don't think so. I think this was actually really helpful because I was curious about kind of the ladder and how it worked and that kind of thing. I was trying to think if I had another question, but because I remember I did, but I didn't write it down. So if I remember it, I'll shoot you a message.
Okay, that sounds great. Well, yeah, I think that's everything I can think of, honestly.
Okay, great. It's great to finally meet you too,
Yeah.
like this.